questions before a few weeks ago, but the real reason I'm asking you is because somebody I love very much died 2 days ago, and I'm having a very hard time understanding that this person is absolutely unreachable or completely gone from reality. I understand there is not a body, but there has to be something remaining.
So, who is this person?
But it's not a person, it's a dog.
Okay.
But I'm having a very hard time. It's been with me for many years.
So, when you went to the shopping and left the dog at the house, and you were thinking about the dog, and you knew that he is alive. Yes? Was he alive for you?
Was he alive for me?
Yes.
Yes.
And where was he in that moment when you were shopping and he was in the house?
In the house.
Where was he for you?
I know he was in the house.
When you're thinking about him, that he is in the house, where was he?
In my mind.
Okay, in your mind. Yeah, you can see that?
Yeah, but you can't tell me the dog had an illusion of my mind.
You know what I'm going to tell you?
No.
Okay. So what is it that you want?
I want some tools to deal with death and loss and the thoughts about it.
Okay.
That's what.
So first of all, maybe it would be useful to realize that when he was alive, he was in your mind. Do you think it can be useful for you?
Yes.
Okay. So now we go back to the scenario.
Will you go back to where?
To the same scenario. You left, you went to a friend house, you left the dog in the house.
I'm going to move the computer for a second. Okay, I'm back. Okay.
You left the dog at the house. And you meet your friend and you sit for a cup of tea. And you start telling her about your great dog. Yeah?
Yes.
In that moment, where is the dog?
In my mind.
In your mind. And you think that he's in the house. In that moment.
Yes.
Right? And everything is okay. You're telling her how great the dog and is so fun and you're so happy and you like to spend time with him and all the beautiful things about the dog. Yes?
Yes.
So far he's only in your mind, right?
Yes.
Good. Now you go home and you perceive him through the 5 senses, and then you go and sit and eat something and all the dogs are running around and you don't see him, and suddenly you have a thought, where is Banjo? Let's just call him Banjo for that. In the moment you think about where is Banjo, you have a conceptual image of the dog, isn't it?
Yes.
In that moment, where is the dog?
In my mind.
In your mind. Okay. So now you see the dog and you pet him and have fun with the dog, and suddenly you have an important phone call and you don't think about the dog. Yes? Where is the dog in that moment?
I don't know.
You don't know. Does the dog exist for you in that moment when you don't think about it?
In that very moment, not.
In that very moment, no. Okay. So now when you think about him right now, can you think about him?
Yes.
Without the idea that he's dead. Yes?
Yes.
Because the only thing that caused the mind sadness is just the idea of death and what it means. Let's leave that story one moment. Let's just, can you picture him in your minds? Can you tell me about that dog?
Yeah.
Tell me.
He's an Dalmatian and he's big and skinny and fit and very quiet, very calm.
What did you like? What do you like about this dog?
Actually, what I like the most is he was so quiet and so peaceful and so he hardly barked. You could hardly notice his presence. You know, he was just there.
So
You work with dogs.
So the moment you think about the dog, if you wouldn't know that he's dead, isn't it in that moment alive for you, in your mind?
Yes.
So as long as you have a thought about the dog didn't really die for you.
But thoughts are not real. And you have said that we have to stop dreaming about a different world because when you open your eyes, the world is right there in front of your eyes. And if I open my eyes, he's not here.
Except that you can open your eyes. Let's assume we go back to the same scenario. That you're at your friend's house and you tell your friend her about how great is this dog, and you open your eyes, he's not there. You're still telling her about the great dog, isn't it?
Yes.
So although the thought is not real, for you at that moment, this dog is where? In your mind.
Yes.
So that's the same right now.
And it's the same with people.
You tell me.
Well, I'm not sure because people are pure awareness, and I don't know if animals are pure awareness.
The idea that people is pure awareness is just a thought, yes? When we don't have any idea and we experience this pure awareness, there is no people.
But you tell us that we are pure awareness.
Pure awareness has nothing to do with people or dogs or anything. Okay? It is within everything and everything is within it. Yet it has nothing to do with any objects of the world, any thoughts.
So when we work...
Macho.
Why are you laughing?
He is pure awareness. He's white. Huh?
Right.
Huh? What do you say? You're pure awareness or pure poodle? Huh?
It's pure awareness.
Pure poodle. Poodle.
It's poodle awareness.
Poodle awareness. Yeah, are you poodle awareness? Yeah. He says he's a poodle awareness.
He's silently aware.
So, okay.
Now you're being funny with me. And I'm serious.
The only thing, the reason why you're sad is because you have an idea what death means. Because of the belief that death is an end, isn't it? The death
Yes.
means you're never gonna see this dog again. The death is
Yeah.
that you're not gonna enjoy the dog. When in fact you could enjoy the dog by telling story about the dog to somebody else, and you still enjoyed talking about him, or smiling by remembering something about the dog. So that way the dog is still alive in you, in your mind. Not as
But
an...
that's living in a dream.
That's okay. At least we don't deny as an object through the senses, the object is gone. Yet you enjoyed even that object or perceived that object only in your mind. So as long as you have memories about this dog, person, object, it's still alive inside you, in your mind. The object is gone. Yet you haven't lost the memory of it. So it's still alive in you. Yes, obviously that this memory is not real. Yet at least it's alive as a memory. Just stay with that even. Not deny it. If I remember something great, that memory is alive within me. So it didn't die. And when there is no memory, I cannot tell that I lost the memory.
How do you deal with death?
I don't have to deal with death. I have to deal with my thoughts about death. And the thoughts that I might have is, I miss this dog. It's all the thoughts that I want something different than what it is. I want this dog to be alive when he's dead. I don't want to stay alone when I'm actually alone. I want to enjoy something when I can no longer enjoy. When I start thinking, whoa, I would never have this experience with this dog, I start suffering. So I have to deal with my thoughts, not the dog, no death. And it's only a matter of the culture, what we're brought to. Because if we would be brought to death is the most beautiful, joyful, celebrating thing, we would just celebrate this. In some cultures, when somebody dies, they start celebrating. It's a big feast, festive that they do. So what was it? Just perception about an event is different.
So when you tell us to remove the obstacles that stop us from pure awareness, does that include all creation? Or is it just us?
It's more important, it's to remove the identification with the thoughts like it is you, like it is real. The thoughts that cause you suffering. The thoughts that don't cause you suffering, don't bother. Yeah? So if thinking about the dog brings you joy and laughter and gratitude, don't need to remove it. Yet the thoughts that want something different to be, the thoughts about perceiving death as a negative thing, these thoughts you want to examine.
How do I examine them?
So what causes you sadness? And before even we begin, sadness is not a bad thing. It's just a sensation that is passing away. Okay? Any feeling is a physical reaction in a body to a belief, to a thought that I believe to be real. So now, because there is sadness deep inside of majority of us, then what happens when different events, it just triggers that sadness, or the thoughts, the belief to surface and be identified with that, and that caused the sadness. So what causing you, what's the challenge you have right now?
That I don't know how to examine the thoughts. I don't know what to ask myself to remove charge or weight from that thought.
Okay. So it's revolving around the dog?
It's revolving about me missing the dog.
Okay, you're missing the dog. So you're missing the dog, is it true?
Am I miss the dog? Is it true? Yes.
So can you absolutely know that it's true that you're missing the dog?
Yes.
Yes. So do you know what's best for you on your path?
No.
No. So how do you react when you believe the thought that you're missing the dog? Because missing the dog is a thought, right? It's an idea you have.
Well, it's breaking a habit or an everyday thing that I used to have in my perceive with my senses, and it's not here.
Yeah. So
It's not an idea. Is it?
it's an idea. Missing, when I miss something, means I think about it, means I think I know that there's no longer this thing. Yes?
Yes.
So how do you react when you believe the thought you're missing the dog?
Sad and resistant and angry and lonely.
All the good stuff, huh?
Yeah, great stuff.
So what do you get for holding this belief that you're missing the dog?
Well, I get all those bad things.
So
But I can't deny that the thoughts come to my mind.
we are not denying anything. Yes, we're just taking a look at the thoughts and what they're causing us if we believe them to be real. Yeah? So you're missing the dog. Does this thought bring you peace or stress into your life?
Stress.
So you're missing the dog. Can you find a reason to give up this thought? And please don't try to give it up, just to find a reason.
Just so I feel better.
That's a good reason. So who would you be right now without the ability to believe that you're missing this dog?
Well, honestly, I would be somebody who pretends that I can just be senseless and get over things immediately, or be absolutely detached from everything that surrounds me, and that everything that has a meaning for me. Because I don't think it's the same to give up a financial thing, or that giving up something, a being that is dear to you, a person or an animal.
I'll ask the question again. Who would you be without the belief, the idea, the thought that you're missing the dog? Just stay with that question. Without this idea, who would you be?
I could be without this sadness.
Yes, be without the sadness. Because with the idea, with the thought that you're missing the dog, what this thought cause you?
Sadness and loneliness.
And what else? Sadness, loneliness.
Because I just feel sorry for myself.
Okay.
Self-pity.
Yes. And without this thought, you will be spared from all of this. Isn't it? If this
Yes, but
thought
it's just,
causing you all these things, without this thought, first of all, you'll be spared of loneliness, self-pity, experiencing sadness. Yes?
yes.
Okay. Let's not move more than that. That's already good, right? If I experience
Right.
sadness because of thought, without that thought, I would be sadness free.
Yes, but that does not change reality. And the reality is that the animal is dead.
Okay, except this doesn't cause you the sadness. The sadness is I'm missing the dog. That causes you the sadness. We don't argue the animal is dead. We can examine that too. So, can you see what I'm pointing at?
Well, I'm not sure because we did this a bit with when I examined that belief about the animals. But it's so it's all about me feeling comfortable with my thoughts. For me, it's more than that, the work, what to do.
The,
I don't
the
know.
fact doesn't change. So the dog is dead. Yes, you can be sad about it and feel sorry for yourself and be lonely, or be at peace, be clear, have the understanding that anything that is born, its nature is to undergo change, decay, and die. That's a given, right? Then you see it as it is, and then you can be peaceful, accepting, loving, embracing, happy.
I don't know if happy. I'm struggling because, like, when my mother died, I knew I didn't use those words in those days because I didn't know you, but I knew she went back to a place of peace and to a perfect place. But I don't have the same, I'm not sure about this dog
So basically,
because I don't know where they go.
look what comforted you about your mother. An idea that you had, that you knew in your mind that she went to a peaceful, safe space, right?
Right.
And if you would knew that about the dog, you would be also peaceful and happy?
Yes, but then what I learned from you doesn't apply.
1 second, why are you moving? Yes?
Yes.
Fully, you would be totally happy? If you knew he went to a peaceful, safe space.
I'll be happier, not totally happy.
Okay, happier. That's good.
Yes, because then I have to deal with where I am, and I'm not in a peaceful, perfect place.
Ah, okay,
So I
so
need the other 50%.
okay, so now we come back to you. So it's all about you.
I think it is all about me
Yes.
because I do believe that reality is God, and wherever He is fine, or wherever He went back is fine.
Okay. Who? When you refer to the dog
That's
went back, who are you referring? His body? Or his soul?
no. That's why I asked you about the soul in the beginning, when you said how the mind dissolves and the soul dissolves and everything dissolves into pure awareness. I believe that happens to animals too. And that same mind, it's their mind too.
Okay.
And everybody's mind.
So we think the soul comes and goes. Yeah? Because we limit the soul to a physical form. Yes?
I'm not sure what the soul is. That's why I was asking.
Soul is just another name for the mind. Thoughts,
Okay.
ideas, beliefs. Yes?
Okay.
So, the soul is in the body or the body is in the soul? And I'll ask it another way. The mind is in the body or the body is in the mind?
The body's in the mind.
Okay, so the body dies. Where the mind goes? Does it die?
It dissolves back into the source. Is
do
there
you-
is the same source?
how do you know
or
that?
not? Because you told me.
Okay, so you don't really know that.
No, because I haven't dissolved in there. I don't know.
So the source is one for everyone and everything, yes? There's no two. So actually, huh?
It's true, I forgot that it's just one.
One. So it's the same source for everyone. So now the body
Yes.
dies, and does the soul die actually?
Well, if the soul is the same thing as the mind, it goes back into the source.
And then comes back out, just as thoughts, dissolving to the
Even if
source.
the body
And
doesn't see it.
is the body, what is dependent on what? The body on the mind or the mind on the body?
The body and the mind.
Okay, so the mind is not limited. It does not born or die. It's just thoughts that appear and disappear. So majority, including animals, when the form is dead, they are experiencing more peace and less suffering, because at least they are not so identified with the objects of the world. They don't need suddenly few things like food, clothing, and shelter. So when the body dies, there is, I tend to say, it's a blessing. So they actually got rid of the burdens of the physical form. So they're freed from the physical form. Although, if we look closely, nobody really suffer because of the physical form. Everyone suffer because they identify and believe their thoughts to be real. The thoughts that cause them stress and suffering.
Yeah, but they don't have that.
They don't what?
But I don't think animals identified with their bodies too. I don't know.
If they're afraid, then I think so.
I mean, I'm sorry to ask all these questions. It may seem irrelevant, but everything I do revolves around animals. I want to understand where I am in regards to all that. Otherwise, my thoughts are going to just do what they do to me. So thank you. I was just really wanting to know about the soul, but I guess I just resolved it.
Everything that happens to us, it appears like it happens to us, yet the truth, it happens for us. And there's a big difference between the two.
Is that karma what you're talking about?
No.
Karma is a concept too.
So everything that happens to us, then I am in a position of a victim.
I feel I'm in a position of victim. I feel it's unfair.
Yeah. Because it happens to you instead of happening for you to see something about this situation. See, this dog is your teacher, even now when he left the body. What you're going to learn about yourself through this event is the gift he's living with you. And as long as you think about him, he is alive for you in your mind. Because in my mind, I don't have experience with your dog. You do. So as long as you think about him, he is alive inside you. Yet if you want something different than what is, you suffer. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, because that's what's happening to me. I'm suffering because I don't want him to be dead. And that part was clear before I talked to you.
Yeah. So instead of be happy that he's still alive within your mind, appreciate that. And then it's too... Huh?
Doesn't feel like he's alive. I'm not trying not to see the truth. I'm just...
Yeah, I understand. So, if you close your eyes,
Okay.
close your eyes, think about him. All the things, the great things about him. Can you share images, what you see? And relax into it, without the concept of he's dead, or just the images, the memories you have about him.
Oh, I just see him with me, you know. He was always with me. Wherever I went, he was with me. He had no attachments to other things that other dogs like. You know?
Was he wagging his tail a lot?
Not really. He was just really peaceful and just very still. But he was just there, always.
Can you see him right now?
Yes. But I can't feel him. I can't touch him.
Just stay with your eyes closed. See yourself touching him. Go to the places that you used to touch him. And talk to him a certain way. How your voice changed when you talk to him. Can you see all of that?
Yes. But I still fight with every reality because I know I'm going to open my eyes and he's not there.
Okay, so you open the eyes and he's not there. Then you close your eyes and he's there. And if you think about him and your eyes are open, he's there too. Just in a different way now. That's all.
Yes. So every time I feel this discomfort, I have to examine the thought.
Yeah, it's only a thought that causes you the discomfort. It's never the situation, although for most people it appears that the situation caused them the discomfort. I do not find that that's accurate. That's not my experience at all. It's never the situation that caused me discomfort. It's always the thoughts about the situation that cause me discomfort. And especially if I'm afraid of that situation, and especially if I want the situation to be different.
So you never struggle with situations or your thoughts about the situations?
Only with the thoughts about the situation, never with the situation itself. Nobody does. Without the thought, you're missing him, you would be peaceful, you would be clear. With the thought, you miss him, you get all this discomfort. So it's not the situation, it's your thought about the situation.
Yes.
So maybe you just change, instead of wanting what you don't have, want what you have and appreciate that. And whatever the situation, see how it is for you to grow from this, to wake up from this. What is the gift that is given for you to learn? What is the lesson for you there to see, instead that it's happening to you? It's happening for you to see something about the thoughts, about the situation.
And can I find that lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this?
Of course.
How?
That you're supposed to see. Again, recognize that it's not happening to you. It's happening for you to see something. If you go back to seer and the scene, you see the thoughts.
Yeah.
Means when you think you're only the thought, then it's happening to you as the thinker. When
Yes.
you realize it's happening for you to see, you as the seer sees something about the thoughts that perceive the situation.
Yeah, I always thought of that. So I will be able to see?
If you question, yes. So everything happens as a gift. So he gave you a gift. Are you going to take it and use the gift? Or are you going to throw it away?
I'm going to use the gift.
Yeah.
Okay. So when a new thought comes back, what do I ask myself to confront that thought? What is gift?
When a thought that causes you stress, write it down and examine it.
Okay.
And it's the thought of wanting something else than what is. That's the thought that causes you stress. The thought of remembering the dog and the great things you had and what he brought you, keep it. That doesn't cause you pain or stress. That way you're able to discriminate between thought that cause you stress and thoughts that don't cause you stress.
Excuse me, if I'm able to do that? Yeah.
That's what discrimination enables you. to discriminate between these two type of thoughts.
So when I blame somebody from the outcome, that's also something I have to examine. Because it happens only if it was supposed to happen.
That's right, and if I blame somebody means I have an idea they were supposed to be different than what they are. So what's causing me to blame them is my idea, not them.
Okay.
Very good.